Hi, it's Kim from Poladora, and I thought I'd take a break from my other work to make part 3. I think it's 3 or 4. I don't know. I'll have to look. But anyway, this is the next one in my series on tangling. And today I'm going to show you a couple of simple characters that you can learn today and practice on your own until the next video. For those of you who bought the book, this one, at my recommendation, I will be teaching out of that book. If you did not buy the book or couldn't afford to buy the book, it's not a problem, because I'm going to walk you along with everybody else. So don't worry about that. Okay, first of all, I wanted to show you something. Last time we made some backgrounds that we could use to tangle on. This was the pour painting swipe that we made. And it turned out pretty nice, actually. If you can see that. I could see making some flowers up here. And stems and a few leaves. And you have a masterpiece. So we have that. I'm simply going to use this wooden canvas here to have something for me to write on. The table, my background here with polka dots on it is squishy, so I didn't want to use that to write on. And let's see, what else do I need here? Bear with me. I wasn't quite as prepared as I thought. So let's just work with what I got. Okay. We made this little, remember this little canvas? It's actually canvas on a tiny, tiny wooden frame. We did this, so I'll do something on this today. We'll do something on this today. And then, in addition to that, I whipped this up last night, knowing I was going to try to video today. And it's basically a watercolor on watercolor paper. And I'm going to tangle it for you while you watch, so you can see the future potential of learning how to do this. By the way, on watercolor, I got a really neat trick for you if you're interested in giving some more character to your piece. Once your watercolor, like the background sky or the ground, whatever you're doing, doesn't matter color. Once the color has dried completely, you can go in and use a stencil. I've got 3 here that are my favorites. All 3 are on here, by the way. This is just little Finnabar with looks like a moth underneath it. That's the brand name on it. The dogs chewed on it a little bit, but we don't care. But it's just squares. And I used it down here. Can you see that? Make sure I'm in the light. And then up here in this corner. And what you do is you take a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, cut it up in little cubes. If you've ever used one of these, you know they fall apart when you use them, so you need to buy a bunch. Go ahead and dip it in water like they recommend when you use it for anything else. And then squeeze out as much of the moisture as you can. You don't want to be adding water. What you're going to be using this for is you're going to take it on wherever you want the squares to show up on. And with it just slightly damp, you're going to hold your stencil down real hard, and you're just going to rub in a circular motion over your stencil. And what you'll be doing, in essence, is you'll be removing the watercolor with the magic eraser back down to the original paper. So it's not like stenciling where you're adding color, you're removing color. But this only works on watercolor. I tried it on the one alcohol ink piece that we tried, or that we made for today, that I went ahead and doodled in. I tried to put in a branch with some birds, and as you can tell, sort of worked, but not really. So, don't use it on alcohol ink that way. But it works beautifully on watercolor, and this will be our last piece to play with. So those are my stencils. Oh, I have another one too. The chevron is just awesome. You can see it in there for some vertical texture. So, okay. The first thing I'm going to do is get my pad. I'm still here. Actually, I'm going to use this smooth paper instead. And I need to figure out if my pen's right. It's something I should have gotten together before I started this. Yep, this one writes. Okay. The first thing I'm going to show you is simple. It's what I just did. It's a circle. Now, I'm a firstborn perfectionist, so I always wanted to make my circles perfect. However, over the years, people are not doing that anymore. In fact, the more imperfect the tangling is, the more artistic it reveals itself to be. So a lot of people are using double and triple lines now instead of just the single line. So what you see here are single lines, but if I want to double it up and make a circle with a double line, I would just go around twice. And now you have a double line circle, and it's not perfect. Now, this may sound funny, but I'm kind of a perfectionist, so this drives me nuts, because I have to force myself to make an imperfect circle. But that's the art in it, I guess. If you can teach yourself to not be perfect and be imperfect, it opens the world to anybody and everybody who wants to tangle, because it doesn't matter if you can make a perfect circle anymore. So I'm going to make a few imperfect circles here. That one's really bad because I was looking to see if you could see it in the camera. So I'm just going to make some imperfect circles, and I'm going around twice. Make them kind of, I'm filling in the space around the first ones that I made. And before you know it, you got enough circles here that this could either be the beginning of a rock wall, or it could be the beginning of a bunch of flowers. You name it. Could be anything. Bunch of grapes. Here, we'll just make it a bunch of grapes. We'll use a double line stem. And then a leaf. Grapes. And then if you want to color them in with a color, like say purple or blue, then all you have to do is take a white marker, or I like to use the Amsterdam acrylic ink bottle. It comes in a little glass bottle, and use my tiniest brush and just dab a little dot of pure white ink just right at the top of each circle. You have to figure out which way your light is coming from in your imagination. So say I'm making these grapes, this bunch of grapes, on an other piece of art, but they're part of the painting. Before I start the painting, I always figure out, okay, where's the light coming from? In this particular view, let's say the light is coming from that direction. That means your dot would go there where the light would hit it. Now you've got a 3D look. Now you've got a colored grape with a white dot reflecting light, and it's pretty simple. That's all I needed to do. So those are the circles, and I want you to practice these because it takes a long time to get real comfortable with. You're going to try to judge yourself, but don't, because you have to start somewhere. And the more circles you make, the better you'll get at it. Not so much being perfect, but rather knowing instinctively how big, how small, where to place them, whatever you're trying to achieve with your circles. So you're just gonna, take a piece of paper or your workbook pages if you've got the workbook, or the paper, one of the papers I recommended in the first video. And just keep making circles. And they don't have to be double circles, they can be single circles. One line, like I started out with. And there you go. The next character, I'll call this a character. The next character I'm going to show you is something that I use in everything. I mean, it is so versatile in what you can do with it that we're gonna do that next. So we've got circles. Now we're gonna make a curlicue. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I can't do that. Well, my hand's a little shaky here too, because I'm not sitting comfortably or anything like that. I'm just standing at my art table to make the video, so a little wobbly on it. But you can do so many cool things with these. And you can run them inside, outside. In other words, start with a tiny circle in the middle and then work your way out. Or you can make a circle and work your way in like that. Don't matter. It's your work. It's whatever you want it to be. These are fun because you can do them for all kinds of things. You can put them, let's see, is there one in here? Yeah. This particular flower, the center of this flower is a swirl in purple. I hope you can see that. This one's harder to see because it's black on purple, but I made a black one inside that flower. And here, this flower has, I made a center, and then see my little highlight of ink, white ink for the light source. And then I made curlicues around the outside of that, and then I colored the background in all black. So right here, I've just shown you like 4 different variations on this one piece. And I'll show you one more, which is kind of one way I like to use them, is kind of put it on its side. And voila. You have a rose, a tangled rose. Add a few leaves, whatever. And you have a, I'll show you that in another video when we want to actually create something out of whole cloth. But I could just make a bunch of these. They could be squatty. And it either looks like a rose or some other type of flower, and you just color it in whatever color you want, and then put your this light source is coming this way, so the white would go right there. Same with this one. So a little piece of white ink or white pen. I showed you all the pens, I think. Today I happen to be using this one. I hope you can, let's see. Can you see that? Prismacolor Premier 01. So this is a 1. So we've got circles, double or single, and we've got curlicues from the outside going in and curlicues from the inside going out. We can do double line or single line. We can flatten our curlicue like this and turn it into a rose bud. And let me think if I should show you anything else right now. I was going to show you oh, I know what I was going to show you. I was going to show you something I use a lot in my, I use a lot in my scapes, like landscapes, tangled landscapes. Here's my aquarium, and see these down here, Tangle Underwater World. I did this in 2015. I'm dating myself. These are very, I love these because you can make them be so many different things. And in this case, I use them for the bottom of an aquarium. So let me show you that real quick. You made a circle. Now make it somewhat oval. And another oval around that. We're not going for perfection, because if I was going to use this, like I did in that one picture, every one of them was different. So we're definitely not going for same size or perfection. You can see every one of them. There's even some round ones, see? And sometimes I try to tuck them behind, but that's an odd shape. So don't worry about your shape. The shape means nothing. It's what you do with it, I guess. So if I was working with this, I would color it in. So pretend that's all been colored in. And then all you have to do is just go around the outer circle and make lines. Like that. And then if you want to make another one behind it, you just do that. make another circle around it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, color that one in too, so you have a variation. And then we put the lines in it. So that's three. Three that are very useful. You can start your work, you can start playing, you can make flowers. You can even make flowers out of these if you wanted to make, say you wanted to make a daisy. We could do this, color this in, and then put in the little sticks, and then I have a daisy. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Could be very messy, could be double lined. And since these back daisies, we're not seeing the full length of them at this angle, I made these shorter and these longer. So there's a daisy. You could make it by making one of these too. You got a daisy or a rose. Okay. Now I want to lay some down. Now, in making this, I hope you realize that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different places to make a different character. Now, I haven't taught you 9, but if you have the book, I'm sure you're way ahead of me by now. But if I wanted to, I could just make this one up here just a curlicue. You see that? Not the black on. I probably should have used white on that. Let's see if I have a white pen here. That's another trick, is learning when to use white and when to use black. But I don't have a white pen nearby, but I do have a white pencil, so there I highlighted it. So let's work on the yellow. I'm just going to double line this and make it somewhat messy on purpose, because I want to show you that no matter what happens, you can do this. And that's the point of the series, is that anybody can do this. And it's, like I said before, it's something you can do anywhere, anytime, if you have a pencil, a pen, a pencil or a pen, and something to write on. You can doodle away. In the waiting room, at your doctor's office, you know, riding on the bus, taking a break from a meeting to clear your head. And obviously I'm not going to fill the whole thing in, but that's what I did. I made circles. I think on this one I'll do the curlicues. Now I just happen to make mine from the outside in, but you can do it either way. I'm trying for non-perfection. That's weird. I mean, it's a weird feeling for me. But that's, you know, that's what they want now. That's what people are gravitating to, is the imperfect, abstract version of this. And I have a little help here because I've got a canvas and it's bumpy anyway, so it makes my job easier. But see how fast you can fill in a space, which is making one thing. Curlicues and circles. The last one I did for you was an oval with lines around the outside. And then I would color in the inside of this. And then I'd use my white marker or white ink and I'd put a dot wherever in the black space I think the light source is coming from. So there you go. We did that. Before I do something on this, which might ruin my pen, let's take a look at this. In fact, I'll put this underneath, make it rougher so I don't get too perfect. Just gonna show you, you know, I said I whipped this up last night for this video. I want to show you what you can do with a simple watercolor. And if you know how to make straight lines, you can really fill this in well. So I'm going to show you, get that centered, what I would be doing. Whoops. Give me a minute. Oops. I bumped it with my head. Get you centered. Okay. The way I envision these, now I have to do what I preach and not be perfect. The other thing that's people do too is I'm using a double line, which makes it even easier for me to not exactly follow the color. So I'm not really following the color precisely. Sorry, fixing my camera. Okay. And then this is hard for me to do, but I'm doing it. I'm gonna go outside. And double up my line so it's not perfect. And this is a bud. And I'm nowhere near where I made the bud in green, so and you can see here I've got white space around my bud there, but that's okay. That's what we want. We don't want perfection. We want play. It's the best way I know to describe it. May have to change pens. See if this one will write for me. Let's go up here. That's good. Okay, let's see. Sorry if I'm quiet, but I just want to show you how to do this. There's not much more to say than to watch me do it. See, I'm not following the green so much as the green is there and it's abstract, which means it doesn't have to be perfect. Somewhere I lost the center of this flower. I probably added too much water to make these squares with the Mr. Clean magic eraser. There you go. I think I'm gonna I know those weren't in there, but I can't help myself. Uh-oh. Teddy, Lucy, it's okay. It's Mommy. They heard me raise my or make my voice higher than normal. No, it's just Mommy. I would say if you're following my videos and you want to follow my videos, you'll have to get used to this because they're my babies and I don't want to lock them up or anything while I'm making my video. Lucy, no bark. There, that's a lot quieter. It's okay to cross over your lines like that too, because like I said before, you know, there's no rules. Lucy, no bark. And we gotta add our now I can go on and fill out the rest of these, but I think you know where I'm going here with that, so I'll put that aside. Now what are we gonna do with this? I think maybe we should try, where are you? Okay, let's go down here and find a dot. I'm going to find that dot right there. And it's okay to turn your work if that's what you need to do. you go, rose. If I want to come back in later and color that rose in, I can. There's no rules. I can add that same green that's in here to the leaves. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. Even take advantage of something that's already here. Like this green spot right here. Let's make him a bud. Look at, we have a great start for that. There's a bud. I have to attach that to something else, but for right now, it's a bud. Even here would be easy to. I'm just making a triangle for underneath the flower. I'm gonna. It's okay to turn your work. I do it all the time. I'm gonna make this join up with the bud eventually, but this looks like another bud. There you go. Well, I'm sorry it took me so long to get to this. Next in my next video in my series, but I'm very proud to tell you that I've been asked by an art jury to be a guest artist on the Free Spirit Artist Collective. It's a group on Facebook if you want to look it up. And I'm going to be a guest artist during their May 16th through 18th show. Online. This is all online, so it's simple, easy peasy. You want to bid on one of my pieces, you just have to do it in the comments below the picture. And boy, I'd really love your support. I'd really love it if you would come, join the group and come. There's some amazing artists in this group, and there will be a lot more things shown than just my pieces, but I will have about 10 pieces, I would say, for this particular art auction. And so mark your calendars, or just go over in Facebook groups and search. I might try to put a link underneath this video for it too. Time is running short though. So I haven't made any videos because I've been working on all the pieces that are going to be presented during the show. So with that in mind, I probably won't make another video now until after the show. So expect to see another one in this series after May 18th. And in case you're watching an old video, I'm talking 2019. Always have to throw that in there. But if you need any tools or supplies from Amazon, I have an Amazon link in my description under the video. I'll put that link for the Free Spirit Artist Collective group on Facebook. And in the meantime, practice, practice, practice. And you too can tangle. Anybody can do it. So with that, I'll say goodbye and good luck.